Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel, Bolt Forward. Today I would like to present to you one of the most cherished firearms in my collection, a gun whose legacy is not one of great wars or revolutionary design, but of a father passing a rifle down to his son. The unusual straight pull bolt of this fine little gun is a masterpiece of good engineering and works beautifully. Unfortunately, the average American shooter has never been fond of unusual actions, and the T-Bolt was imported for less than 10 years, from 1965 to 1973. In addition to the plain T1 model, a T2 was offered, with a 24-inch barrel and a fancy stock. The gun was also available in a left-hand version. An accessory single-shot adapter would have allowed the use of 22 short or long, as well as long rifle. Except for the reversal of some directions in the left-hand model, the instructions will apply for all of them. Clip magazine, clip magazine, clip magazine, clip magazine. This particular rifle is a grade 2 T-Bolt, which basically means that it features a slightly longer barrel and it has checkering on the stock. All Browning T-Bolts were chambered in 22 long rifle, though they could use 22 long and 22 short. The rifles were produced in Belgium and imported into the United States, and what is kind of funny is that these were considered a budget firearm back in the day. Despite their high-quality builds, they used accelerated methods and cheaper materials, such as pot metal trigger guards and trigger housings, and a salt-cured stock to speed up the drying process. It should be noted that the salt curing is a rust maker on steroids, and if you ever come across one of these rifles for sale, ask to separate the action from the stock and inspect it. When it comes to information on guns, there isn't much out there on the T-Bolt. This is, and I quote, all the information that is written about the gun on Browning's own website. The T-Bolt 22 was introduced in 1965 and went out of production in 1974. A grade 1 and grade 2 were offered. That's it, folks. The Browning T-Bolt's action is surprisingly very robust for a 22 rifle. While semi-autos simply rely on bolt weights and springs, and bolt action generally use just the bolt handle against the receiver, this rifle technically has two locking lugs that secure flush with the receiver. Though this is called a straight pull rifle, you could almost call this a pivot pull rifle, as pulling on the bolt handle causes the assembly to pivot out and thus allows the locking lugs to disengage from the receiver. Fun little fact, Browning advertised these rifles as being faster than a semi-auto. However, when you read into it, what they mean was you can cycle the bolt back and forth faster than the semi-autos at the time. The rifle's pistol grip is pretty comfortable, though I'm sure 50 years of wear and tear has gotten the grooves just right. By the way, check out this repair. Wood glue and a screw. Gives this gun quite a bit of character. Here you can see how the bolt handle pivots in its assembly. Also, check out that chonky striker. Good luck breaking that thing. The double extractors also really help getting crusty casings out of a dirty chamber. This gun rarely ever malfunctions. What to say? I was actually going to do a video on this a while ago to mark the 10th year since my father had passed. Unfortunately, I got into a car accident, and I was really not motivated to make videos at all, and I had to go and buy a new car. I could go on forever. But anyways, here I am making this video now. Oftentimes when I collect old firearms, I'm sure I'm just like many other people. I will sit there and think about where has this gun been. If guns could talk, what stories would they tell? What epic battles did they serve in? What countries did they get deployed to? This gun, though, is not a military rifle. It doesn't have any famous legacy. It was never owned by anybody, famous or substantial in the world of firearms. This gun came out of a Sears catalog. My dad told me that my grandfather bought it for him for his 15th birthday or something like that. And it was a budget gun back in its day. Nothing really fancy at all. And so I grew up with the stories of this gun. My father used to tell me at the times he went rabbit and squirrel hunting, which if anybody lives in the South, they'll know that that's not uncommon for young teenage boys to go out in the woods and hunt by themselves. I always thought one day when I'm a man, when I'm old enough, I'll own my own rifle. And this was one of the very first guns I ever learned how to shoot. I remember being 14, 15, and I'm at my grandparents' house, and I asked my dad if I can go shoot the 22 rifle, and he said, sure, go get some ammo, go get the gun. I did, and I said, all right, well, let's go. And he was like, no, I think you're mature enough to go handle this on your own, just don't get hurt. And that was one of the biggest things ever. And I still remember taking a pocket full of bullets and walking out to where we used to plink and was unsupervised for the first time. And I can also remember countless shots of plinking tin cans and punching holes in paper and doing a little amateur hunting of squirrels and rabbits myself when I was younger with this rifle. This relatively unassuming rifle shows its character, has a cracked stock. It has been refinished because this is one of the versions of the rifle that had a salt-treated stock, so there was some minor pitting and corrosion. We also lived in Florida at one point, so that is always tough on guns. The scope is not the one that my dad had on there. The rear sight has been lost to time at some point. I put the bipod on there. But even with all those little dings and dents and the scratches and the refinishing and everything like that, it is still my father's 22. That I don't take the gun range enough, but whenever I do, it's probably one of my all-time favorite guns that I have in my collection. And despite it being a budget gun out of a Sears catalog, it's unique. I've never seen another one like it. I've never found another T-bolt out in the wild. I've never seen one in a store. Probably will buy one if I ever do. But even if I did, ultimately, it will never be the same as this gun right here. This is one of the last remaining ways that I can still connect with my father, even in death. On to more fun things. We're going to take this out to the gun range. By the way, I have to apologize for all the shooting that goes on in the background. I am not a wealthy man. I do not have a private gun range. I do not have access to a private gun range very often. So I do my best to kind of shoot and edit out the other shooting in the background. Again, I'm sorry, you're going to hear gunshots in the back. Bolt Forward is not a high production studio quality YouTube channel. Anyways, if you stuck around this long, enjoy some shooting. Thanks for watching. Recording?
Recording. This is longer, right? Yeah, mine is close. I'm more of a pistol, like short range guy, so. Yeah. And then try. That's stock? This is aftermarket. Okay. Yeah. I think I built the.
Well, that was embarrassingly bad.
No, I didn't bring the binary this time. This is my first AR. I just hadn't shot in it forever. So. I had a big at one point, but I took it off, and because it was and it worked. Yeah. And then I took that off, and I put that Vortex now in my car. But I kept getting sighting issues with it. One would be sighted in, and then the next it was way off.
God, what a gun. What a Sears catalog discount gun. Did you hit it?
Yeah. First shot impact. And now I'm shooting the scraps that I just exploded.
This thing with a suppressor on it would just be
Nasty.
Wouldn't even cut down the barrel. I would, put the suppressor on the very end of it.
Oh yeah. point and shoot kind of thing?
Yeah, I can take that ring off.
Neighbors are always making a racket. Can I just not get this one clay?
Yeah.
That's the last time I was up there.
Are you aiming for the steel?
Yeah.
As fast as a semi-auto, they say.
Them shit sound way more fun.